Hello, everyone. You can hear us, but you can't see us because I forgot to hit the button. Now you can see us. We're here. Hi, everybody. It is your friendly neighborhood Frax. Welcome to the channel. Today is time for some Mekton. So I'm gonna let my dear friend PB introduce herself and explain who she's playing today. Hey, PB, how you doing? How you feeling?
Hi, I'm excited. Finally getting back into our Star Battalion universe, and I'm excited to play Calix again. Today I'm playing Calix Mitzli, who is hold on, it'll come to me. I'll remember. It's coming to me. She is a Mekton driver here in the battalion. Um, she has a twin sister named Alex, who we went through some shit together at the end of this first season, and she goes by a she her pronouns. I think possibly she they. I don't exactly remember. And
I can say that you gave me she they because that's what's on the overlay.
okay, she they. Uh, hey, shout out to the overlay. Really MVP here. She they. She has a wild blue hair and ever shifting eyes. She's tall, she's lithe, and so hot. So hot. So just not cool. Like the least amount of cool you could think of.
But I
But
don't think she
very hot.
cares that she's not cool.
No, and that's like you think that that would make her more cool, but it doesn't. It just doesn't work for her. But so hot, a lot of people just look past it, honestly.
I mean, is it the attractiveness that cause it to people look back, or is it the fear of possibly getting shot?
I mean, both valid. Both valid, I'd say.
I mean, I recall in last season there was an incident where Calix, call sign Leo, was a bit turbed.
That's a way to put it. Absolutely. When push comes to shove, sometimes maybe a little bit of a hothead. Just maybe it runs into Mitzli. Maybe it's the Mitzli thing. Who knows?
It's a Mitzli thing, but
It's just a Mitzli thing.
it's just a Mitzli thing, which apparently is a thing that Moon School friends have said. It's like, oh, it's just a Mitzli. Stay out of their way. They're great, they're friendly, and they're fun, and then they get pissed and stalk down a hallway naked carrying a knife.
I mean, you should hear the stories about Alex if you're worried about a little knife.
I mean that might be a good place to start. We at the end of last season, you had invited your sister to remain with you on the Starblade for a time because you were displeased with Lorian, her husband?
Yeah, it's one way to put it. Absolutely.
I mean, how else would you put it?
Um, Enraged. Uh, Elegantly enraged. I'd say.
For valid reasons. Oh.
I'd like to think so. You know.
I mean, he is an ass.
He was always been an ass. Never liked the guy. Always a little slimy, even in school.
Very slimy. But it's been. Well, why don't we start about, let's say, 2 weeks after the end of last season? Your unit has been on stand down because, well, there's a lot going on. There's some question of whether or not the Starblade has been discovered. There's other Blade, other members of the battalion who have been doing some counterintelligence, one might say, but that's not usually what your group is tasked with. You are the kill people and break things.
You know, some people are scalpels, some people are hammers. Scalpels, not our thing.
You definitely fall under the, we are here to, help you. And if that help involves blood and death, you know,
Good for us.
good for you. But it's been about 2 weeks. A number of your squad have been finding things to do around. Alex has been given quarters near you. Same kind of basic, very basic twin bed, closet kind of thing that you all have. You're all lucky you just don't have bunks. But the advantage of having a converted colony ship as a base of operations. The doctor, Kay, has been kind of moderating her for a while. She had been heavily sedated. You brought her on board. So there was a period of coming down from sedation, followed by a period of withdrawal from sedation. What would you like to do?
I think while Alex was recovering from the first half of being sedated and just finding out from Kay? Was that the doctor's name?
Kay, yes.
Okay. From Kay, the actual extent of what Dorian had been doing to Alex. She spent a lot of time, I'd say probably in like the workout room or wherever there was like a punching bag situation where she could just like let out a lot of that famous Mitzli rage. And then when Alex went I want to say downhill, but when she started going into withdrawal, she spent just a lot more time taking care of Alex, doing a lot of just being there, holding her hand and whatever physical touch she was comfortable with to comfort her. And maybe like regaling probably like stories and things. And so she hasn't had a ton of sleep in the relatable in the past couple of weeks because she's been either just so filled with rage and energy she just didn't know what to really do with it, aside from just knocking a couple of punching bags out and I guess like running on the treadmill. They're probably still called treadmills in space, right?
Yeah, there's always going to be called treadmills. There might be some fancy name for it, but it's a treadmill. I mean, it's the same kind of developed technology. They're actually really good, particularly in low G environments, you need to keep up the cardiovascular muscle development so you don't lose. Fun things you learn from watching NASA live stream from the National Space Station. Google it. It does exist. But yes, well, I mean, there are enough gravitational and inertial dampeners on the ship that it's not as big a worry as it used to be about losing your muscle control and muscle mass. But there is a gym nearby, and it's plugged in. There is a sound system, but for some reason, it's not some reason. There really is only one person who's allowed to control, shall we say, the music that comes from the gym and that socket. She doesn't let anyone else. The music can go through. Right now, it's currently playing "Won't Get Fooled Again" by The Who.
And which Calix big appreciates and has been appreciating the running playlist. She's been there a lot. And so Calix just probably it can just be found whenever she can be pried from Alex's side. Probably just a lot of like falling asleep in just like very normal positions, like halfway eating like a wrap, in the middle of the hallway, just leaning against the wall. Occasionally you'll see her like hugging the punching bag, just leaning on it, like falling asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where like we find her here in what I'm assuming is one of the many times Alex has kicked Calix out of the room for whatever reason. Look, I just care a lot about my sister, whether I thought I did or not. And so I'm probably in the gym right now, half in and out of falling asleep against this punching bag.
And I think what we see is this, it's a converted bulkhead, really, storage room. There are a couple mats kind of thrown on the floor to one side, a heavy bag hanging kind of mostly securely from the ceiling. I mean, it's secure, but there's a whole lot more duct tape involved than you expect, right?
Yeah.
Because, you don't really want to put a drill to your metal bulkhead ceiling of a ship without needing to, so...
And space duct tape, so advanced. You thought we perfected it centuries ago, but really,
I mean, it's welded duct tape. It's very complicated. So what we see is this Calix leaning half on the bag, falling asleep, and just there's a brief ping to your comm.
As this ping goes off, it's when she's like starting to doze off a little bit, but she's been like really adamant that she's not been falling asleep, that she's totally fine, nothing is wrong, she can handle this. So the moment it pings, she's like, no, I'm fine, and she like gives a very, I wouldn't say weak punch to the punching bag, but definitely not as strong as she has been.
Yep.
And then she looks at her comms and sees who it's from or what it is.
It is from your lawyer.
And that wakes her up a little bit.
Well, you did ask for what the information is. You did ask to know what the information was about, the question of Alex's marriage to Lorien Messer. You wanted him to look into. It's a tech email with, a full of, it's a very short kind of lawyer email at the beginning. It's like, we have a lot of information. Here's the breakdown of the number of, you know, here are the financial breakdowns of how things worked out. Here's the prenuptial agreement that was signed. Here's, you know, all the information about the wedding. Here's the information about the, you know, medical bills and care that Alex had been needed. She was in her coma.
Which warrants another, just still staring at the phone, but just another big punch to the punching bag in front of her when she gets past that point. And she looks at it, just rubbing her eye. And it's like, this is why I didn't want to go into the business. And she goes off to one of the sides of the gym. Not a lot of people have actually been going to the gym lately. Calix isn't terribly certain how often people have been coming in and out prior to this. But definitely not as much as she thought. In fact, almost deserted every time she comes in. Can't imagine why.
It's almost like somebody put a proximity alarm on one of the doors to ensure that people be aware of an angry Mitzli coming in through.
I almost like it. Yeah, almost exactly like that. Weird, really. So she feels pretty comfortable just like going to one of the sides of the gym and just sliding down the wall and going through her bag, grabbing her tablet, space tablet, and datapad. There we go. See, it's space tablet, datapad, and just starts going through the papers, leaving the hospital documents for last, but starting with the prenup and moving her way through there.
The prenup is a pretty standard breakdown. I'm not gonna make you roll for that. It's just a pretty. It's almost like a form. Formulaic, something that you would expect for people of your status to engage in. You know, no fault divorce, you know, in the event of discovery of either, you know, fraud or adultery, no fault divorce, there's no alimony, there's no whatever, but if there are other reasons, you know, everyone takes what they came in with, then all of these kind of things. The standard prenup, that there's nothing in it that's sets off any alarm bells, right? The other things I do need you to roll for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you do some work for this. Like there are dice involved in this.
What?
But it would be I would say actually here I would say either compose or write. Yeah, I would say compose or write, unless you have an expert skill other skill that you think would make sense.
Well, let's find out. In my wonderfully organized expert page. Both of those things are other things.
Then yeah, I would say compose or write to understand.
All right. Okay, just press this button in this game. No modifiers.
Ooh, but that crit is beautiful.
All right, 36.
You double crit that.
Yeah, I did.
And then you rolled another 8. That's just like boom, 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 boom. Great start to the evening. Great start. We're off to a great start. But with a 36, you can see that what had been included for the for the more business-oriented stuff, not the prenup itself, but a lot of the other, like, contracts and business papers, Lorien has been buying shares of the family company.
Okay.
But never enough to ping on anyone's radar. It'd be like 5 shares here, 10 shares here, not a lot. But he's now at a point where he owns about 20% of the company.
Okay.
And then between you would know that between you and your sister, you both have another 25%.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the rest, the remaining 30% is publicly traded and held among other members of the board, various other.
Yeah.
But with the marriage, and it's not hard to determine that between Lorien owning 20% and then being married to Alex, and possibly there also was included in here a notation of proxy for Alex's shares, he had controlling shares of the company.
Mm-hmm.
At 45.
Okay. That's concerning. And I put like a little digital tab on that page to come back to / send back to the lawyer. And she just sits there for a little bit, thinking about it. Just letting that rage wake her up a little bit more. And not that she's not tired. And then she sees that but she's still so early on in the paper, so she has to keep on reading, so she keeps on reading everything else the lawyer sent her. Just puts a footnote on that.
So you've got the prenup, there's nothing, it's pretty standard.
Yeah.
Most of the corporate papers are showing a trail of this slow, and it was a slow process over like 5-7 years of Lorien slowly buying stocks. You also, and you see the proxy the official proxy notice for his control of Alex's shares, because she is, and the proxy on it doesn't usually have to include any reason why. It's just you can just have somebody, you can say, I want to give a proxy because I'm not going to be able to make this vote to whoever for whatever reason. But there's attached another couple pieces of documents where Lorien had begun filing paperwork to get himself recognized as Alex's not just husband, but legal guardian, as if a conservatorship. Because as a result of her, as the aftermath of her long-term medical needs, and there's a bunch of like medical documentation that goes with this of her, right after she got out of the coma, there's some expected level of disorientation, she had head trauma, she's recovered by this point, but a lot of the paperwork that had been filed is very much of it was medically necessary for me to take over these aspects of her legal life because she had severe head trauma.
Someone's gonna have severe head trauma after this. And she just once she reads that, she like starts speed reading through that paperwork to see if it was all filed and sent in yet. Basically looking for like the judge's note. And if she doesn't find any, she just leans back for a second, head against the wall, and just takes a sigh of, okay, it could be worse.
you will find that some of these papers have already been filed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've been married for almost
10 years.
Yeah,
10
yes,
years?
I'm sorry, I had math wrong. They've been married for about 7.5 years.
Mm.
Because their marriage couldn't. You haven't spoken to her in 10 years, but
Yeah.
they've been married for about 7.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because and there's that that before that she was in the hospital, and there are medical records from the hospital. There's the the intake from the emergency room where there was notations about the explosion that she was in, how lucky she was to be alive, and then the slow recovery notations that are there, and then the transfer of her from the normal hospital to a long-term care facility because she was still in a coma. Also in notations to not tell you because her medical power of attorney and her next of kin had been changed before the explosion to Lorien Messer.
Yeah, of course. Why tell me? Why tell me anything? It's not like she ever did when she was healthy either. And then she's like, it's not her fault. It's not her fault. She couldn't have known. Which has just been an ongoing battle in Calix's brain since Alex has come back into her life. I am so angry at you. Mostly feelings of betrayal. Resurfacing, all the like trauma she like really like shoved down in there. Really starting to come up to the surface. But Calix does such a great job of just shoving it back down. But now that Alex is here, some of that is really hard to keep down. She's trying to be rational about the whole situation, but she's still so mad. As I'm sure the punching bag knows very well. So, okay, she reads that and sees that and is like, puts like a red little tab onto that page as like, this is something we need to urgently address. Not so much the don't tell me stuff, although I do put like in the margins like, do tell me. But also as this is the first thing we need to address about all of this. We need to make sure this doesn't go through. And how many more documents does she have to go through?
There's 2 more documents. So the medical power of attorney and notification of next of kin, that's dated 10 years ago, before the accident occurred, before the explosion occurred that sent your sister to. So those have been on file for a decade now.
Yeah.
There's a note there, a bunch of medical records kind of explaining, and a listing of her doctor of record.
Who was the same one the entire time?
No. There's the, normal, there are a bunch of different doctors in the hospital in, well, she was originally taken to a hospital outside of New York. On Earth.
Okay.
It looks like there was some sort of accident, perhaps. She was traveling, there was an explosion. It was taken to the nearest hospital, which was this hospital, St. Vincent's outside of New York. Well, outside of the New York Arcology, just in one of the suburbs there. But after she's stabilized and for a while, and when she gets transferred to the long-term care facility, Lorien transfers her to a facility in Switzerland under the care of a Dr. Cassandra Messer.
Okay. Of course. Why not keep it in the family? Hospital in Switzerland?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It has a very strong reputation. It's been, recovery rehab facility for those with long-term injuries for a very long period of time. Considered cutting edge in cybernetic neurologics.
Oh, that's true. Going through her medical records, does she have any modifications that are new?
No new cyberware beyond the
Okay.
neural, and no cyberware at all beyond the neural link that everyone.
Any notes on why they decided not to go that route?
It was deemed medically. There's a couple notes about the possibility of going through and using cyberware, but the brain is such a dangerous thing, and she was in a coma, and therefore, and her next of kin didn't consent. But there were other alternative treatment plans considered.
And what did they decide to go with? Officially?
Officially, some medicated combination of cocktails, medicated cocktails. No, a cocktail of medications. Talking is a thing.
I put another yellow tab on that page, or like those paragraphs throughout the records, as to be addressed / to be researched. For potential suing. And at this point, Calix is just really like just trying to get through it all. Trying to be as objective as possible reading through this. But this is why she has lawyers. And then she just finishes out the last of the pages.
As you do so, as you're sitting there reading through the last couple pages, there's a note at the bottom from your lawyer saying that they've already begun the process of, questioning the original power of attorney, questioning the original next of kin notification, filing for a not a divorce, the other one. Annulment.
There you go. Yeah. I want you to know the only word that came to mind was atonement, and I'm like, no, that's not right.
It's the same thing. Annulment because of medical. Was she medically capable of making of signing the contract to get? Was she of sound mind to sign the contract of the marriage contract when she got married? And then there's a note from the lawyers like, all of this wonderful documentation about being in a coma for 3 years or a year and a half before the wedding is going to be very useful when we file this annulment. Like, you can't keep saying she's medically unsound and then say, oh well, no, we're married now because she agreed to the contract. While you're sitting there, you've been sitting there for a while reading through this, and then you'll hear just like a rap on the metal wall of the bulkhead kind of above and to your right. And if you look up, Socket's kind of standing there. The music has changed. Again, it is currently playing Lawyers, Guns, and Money. And Socket is kind of leaning over, her red hair kind of pulled back in a messy high ponytail, and she's holding out to you this like metal cup.
I finished reading the sentence I was reading as I hear the rapping. But we all know how long sentences can be in legal jargon. So she takes a second to just finish reading it, and she's like, I'm almost done here. Give me just one quick second. Because if I stop reading this, I'll lose my spot. And as I finish up, I close the data pad, turn it off. I just put it face down as I lean back on the wall, and I just put my hand out to grab the cup, and I'm like, Socket, you've been an absolute savior these past, oh god, I don't even know how long it's been.
That's because you need to sleep.
I can sleep when I'm dead, or when Lorian is dead, you know, one or the other.
I mean, Lorian could definitely die. He's not, I don't know, but you need to sleep, otherwise he isn't gonna get dead anytime soon.
I've been sleeping here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I have such a wonderful socket bringing me amazing... Wait, what is this?
Coffee.
Exactly, coffee. The best variety, I'm sure.
For this ship, yeah.
She just basically takes a shot of coffee.
Cool, can you roll me resist drugs?
Absolutely.
Which
it's
is
so good at that.
Which is the thing in this game.
Resist torture and drugs, that one?
Yes.
Okay. Oh man, it's a cool thing. I see. Yeah, I roll a 4.
You shoot it, you take it and swear it back, and Sokka's just kind of standing there nodding at you. And you realize that your eyes are really tired. You're like really exhausted. And she just keeps smiling as you fall asleep.
Last thing you hear Calix say is, sorry, why are you smiling?
Have a good nap.
Classic.
Look, her sister is the doctor.
This is why Calix has trust issues. No. But actually.
But actually, her sister is the doctor.
And so, all right.
You will sleep a full 8 hours. When you wake up, you are in your quarters, fully dressed. Nothing strange has happened to you. Socket's playlist is still playing in your quarters. It is shifted, however, to where is it? Hold on. It's closer to the heart from Rush. It's shifted to Rush, closer to the heart. And there's a note, like an actual piece of paper note, with just "There's medical directed. Sorry. Not really, though. And then, I hope you feel better," with a little heart. And a plate of, like, the most amount of carbs you can think of. Like a bowl of pasta just sitting there.
Oh, I love a bowl of pasta for breakfast. The Calix will very begrudgingly get up and just out loud to no one in particular, just like, I guess the heart wants what the heart wants, I guess. Should I thank her? Or should I let her sweat it out a little? Oh, we'll see how good this pasta is. And she starts just shoveling pasta in. It starts off very delicately, very, high society of her. She doesn't realize exactly how hungry she is until, a couple of bites in. and in which case she becomes a little ravenous, and she just starts eating a little bit faster and a little bit faster until she's absolutely just shoveling it into her mouth as fast as she can to not choke.
It is really, I mean, it's good. It's not like haute cuisine, but it's really good. And it's, just a basic, penne with marinara, red sauce. Thick, but it's thick. It's not like this weak-ass marinara that you get at like a ragu kind of thing. No. This is Sunday sauce. Sauce that you could smell from, the tomatoes cooking for like 6 to 8 hours. And if you actually saw a pot of this sauce cooking on a stovetop, you could stand a spoon up in the middle of the pot vertically, and it just lets it sit like that. Yes, it can be done, and I do it regularly. Lots of garlic, a little bit of heat, basil, all the good things.
I'll let her sweat it a little bit. But compliment to the chef. And then she makes herself look presentable because she is of high society. She can't go out looking like a mess, even if she is. But the first place she goes as soon as she's out of her room is down to Alex's because it's been a full 8 hours and she has a little bit of anxiety about it. And goes in to check on Alex. She lightly knocks on the door.
Man.
It's like, hello, hey, Alex, how are we feeling this morning?
Better. You look like you actually slept.
Apparently it was medically required, medically asked, and a little bit of subterfuge.
Well, I'm glad you got some sleep.
It was nice, I guess. Should last me the next couple of days.
Hopefully you'll sleep a little bit more before then.
I mean, we'll see what happens. How's the headache going?
It's gone from shoot me in the head to, oh, there are painkillers that can do this.
Yeah. Pretty nice here also. We don't get a lot of money for lots of things, but they never skimp out on pain meds.
A doctor that can do good work is a good thing. But no, it's better. Or given value of better.
And what's it like finally having all your full facilities back then?
Do I?
I mean, I've seen you walk around on your own, which is more than I could say a week ago.
Yeah, okay. I guess physically I'm in a much better place.
Oh, emotionally?
We're talking about our emotions?
It is healthy to speak about our emotions after we've gone through a traumatic experience.
So you're just quoting Mrs. Pychek, the guidance counselor at school.
I mean, what else do you want from me, Alex?
Nothing. I'm just... You honestly want me to talk about my emotions?
I mean, I want... Yeah.
Well, I mean, most right now, most of my emotions deal with, can I get a sniper rifle and does it work from...
Well, maybe not from orbit, but I'm sure we can get close enough if we make the correct arrangements. I know some people.
And she kind of glances around this very military, utilitarian space. Yes, you do know some people.
Yeah, well, it's been an eventful decade, to say the least. Mostly in the last few years, honestly.
I mean, I was in a coma and then I was in awakening, so. What were you up to? I guess that's where we're starting, maybe?
I mean, sure. Well, after mom and dad didn't return for our graduation or the months afterwards, and then you ran off to Lord knows where. I traveled around a little bit. Eventually bought an expensive car, started racing, made a name for myself. Might have heard, I don't know. And did that for a couple of years. Apparently made some enemies. Then I don't know, got my shit together, I guess. Went into some engineering stuff. Selling some stuff. Made some enemies there also. Who would have known?
Yeah, such a surprise that one of the Mitzli girls made enemies.
I don't know. We're so charming.
It's like us for some reason. I don't get it.
I don't either. It's not like we did anything, right?
We are entirely not culpable, shape or form.
Not legally, at least. I guess I joined the battalion shortly thereafter. Had a enlightening conversation with the leader early on and went from the research department to the mechanical department and eventually to the piloting crew. And that's basically where I've been for the last few years, I guess. I mean, that's been me.
I was in a coma and then a coma. Also, do you think there'd be like a hairstylist here? Because this is not a look I would have.
Oh, I'm sure. Okay, I'll send Aurelia a message. She knows the person.
Oh, it is
You wouldn't
really?
think Aurelia. She has been actually doing really well. She married Argento. I don't know if you remember. And
Yes, I remember Argento. I'm sure all of us remember Argento.
okay, look, I was just saying. Who knows what got scrambled up in there in the last years? Yeah, she married Argento, and she had quite an adventurous life. As you know, really always larger than life. She went on to be a movie star. And then, but you know, her always gets bored very easily. She moved around here and there, doing some jobs. Lost track of her for a couple of years, but she came back around. I heard Argento is some big wig captain now, sergeant. Who knows ranks nowadays?
Mm-hmm.
But kind of a big wig now, and yeah, and like don't tell her I said this, but I'm pretty sure she might be having a kid soon.
Really?
Yeah, her and Argento fairly serious, and I don't know. I've been kind of getting the vibe from her lately. I mean, throughout everything that's been
I'm
happening.
assuming. I mean, this is Aurelia. We're assuming that she's not actually giving birth, right?
Oh yes, God no. She definitely has a pod somewhere.
Well, good for them. Congratulations. Sure. To not say that until she tells me, I guess. I don't know.
You know how Ari is. But yeah, she's been well. Really, her and Rex have really been the only ones I've kept track with, though, since school.
Yeah, there was I vaguely recall a large number of people sweating that went to school with us.
I saw the photos mysteriously appeared in front of me days before I was reunited with you.
Well, number one, you have to know that none of that was my plan. Marrying Lorian Messer was never in the cards. And if I was ever to actually get married, I'd want to make sure to call my sister first.
Even after everything? Back then, at least.
I mean, yeah. If it wasn't to invite you and make sure that you were happy with me, then it would have been to shove it in your face that I was getting married and you weren't invited.
Which is honestly what I thought you did the first time.
Yeah, but I would have actually called and not just sent a package. If I sent a package, then I couldn't see your face when you opened it.
I guess you're right.
I mean, I am a bitch, Calix, but intelligent, well thought out, methodical bitch.
Maybe that's why you had to be drugged up so much, didn't you? If they even left a little bit of your mind alive, you'd learn how to destroy them.
So, speaking of destroying them.
Yes.
Are we going for evisceration or incarceration?
Well, Ari and I have already begun some conversations with our lawyers, and Aurelia. I'm sure you remember. I do not remember. Hold on, I'll look it up. Wait, I have it somewhere. I don't have it somewhere. Hold on, the NPC document has it somewhere.
What are we looking up?
The lawyer's name.
Saito Arasaka.
Saito Arasaka, there it is.
That's Argento lawyer, yes.
Ari and Argento have Saito Arasaka as their lawyer, and I've asked a personal favor of them. And honestly, I just received the documents from our lawyer. And evisceration is my plan of action.
Well, it's good to know we have a similar plan.
Especially after reading this, I might throw in a little bit of light torture.
Can't we just, like, shove him out an airlock? I think that counts. Let him slowly suffocate and vacuum. Or quickly suffocate, depending on how.
I think that could be arranged, or maybe even give him a little bit of hope. Send him out there with a little bit of oxygen. Long enough for him to realize his impending doom. Well, I was hoping to wait to send you anything until you felt 100%, or at least a little bit closer.
I am trapped in bed and functional enough to do something, but I can't actually do anything physical, so please give me something to distract my.
Well, I guess legal matters were always your forte. But I'm here if you need to talk about anything. Because these papers might get a little heavy, but I'll forward you what the lawyer sent. You know what? No, let's set up a new account for you. I don't trust anything you had prior. And then I'll send these to you. after reading these. The papers of your prenup, your what happened when you got in an accident, which I'm beginning to think is not much of an accident.
I don't recall what happened. They told me that I was in a vehicle accident and there was an explosion, and then I had coma. Woke up and they needed medical. Lorian was there and he had the medical proxy and was talking about how now that I was finally awake again, we could start planning the wedding.
What do you remember before the accident? Or
I mean, things are fuzzy. I mean, what do you mean before? Like, I remember things like school and.
Well, I mean, after we left school, we fell out of contact.
I remember being at graduation and our parents not showing up for graduation. I remember wanting to get out for a while.
Okay.
Flashes of metal grinding, loud sounds. My therapist tells me it's my brain protecting myself from the trauma itself.
Our brain's always betraying us. Okay. I'm just trying to set up a timeline in my own mind. Trying to catch up with the last 10 years or so. And also, I'll be happy to know our lawyers are looking into an annulment between you and Lorian, and also looking into a lot of these matters that you'll see in these papers.
Yeah, I'm. All right, so let's get at this, because I'm pretty sure that we need to divest me 100%. Well, maybe it'd be better if I was the widow and egg.
On a personal level or on a professional level?
Oh, on the profession. Well, there's a certain amount of status one can gain as a widow in society, but I was more implying if I'm his widow and I have the right to inherit. There are no children. I'm sure Saito can arrange to have whatever will may or may not be on file invalidated or arrange for a new one. And then, he dies in violently, painfully way, and I inherit everything.
I'll unofficially message some that through some channels. See if it can be done. I'll tell our lawyers to look into the issues, but not submit anything yet.
I know he was been very busy with his new project.
New project? Any idea as to what it is?
Well, he's been in charge of the. He's in charge of the, technically officially, the project lead for this new arcology they're building outside of Edinburgh.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, the Messer family business is taking, I should say. Lorian is the one officially in charge, but Luca, you remember Luca, right?
Gator.
Yeah, well, a couple years, a couple years younger than Lorian and us, and spent more time in the library than anywhere else in Tycho. Nerdy, glasses.
The one that got in trouble for super enhancing the faucet in that one bathroom that one year?
No. No. I know who you're talking about. No, that wasn't Luca. Um, he's the one that arranged for Lorian's little cadre of doc assholes to suddenly be locked out of their dorms. The biometrics failed for them, remember? And they had just come back from like the showers for after training, and they were all stuck outside their rooms for like 6-7 hours. Their
That
biometrics.
was Luca?
Yes, that was Luca.
Oh.
Apparently
okay.
he was very frustrated that they came in and tried to steal his books.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah, Luca.
Luca's the engineer in doing the actual day-to-day, but the rest of the messers are supposedly all involved in this, and Lorian is the lead.
Interesting. Another thing that I guess I should bring up before we get into the meat of these documents is that he has been slowly buying up mom and dad's company. He's up to 20%.
I'm assuming with my 25, that's 45%. That's enough for few agreements with other members of the board. He would have enough for controlling interest, and why didn't he just kill me when therefore would inherit the rest of it?
Isn't there a clause about our deaths?
Oh yes, if the shares would automatically go back to you.
Yes, or vice versa. Oh, actually. Huh. I've had a couple of death threats in the past week or so.
Were they, were they at least good death threats? Competent death threats?
One of them almost successful. I was actually a little bit impressed. It involved an entire subterfuge. There was a pilot here who was either originally part of this assassin's group or doctored in after the fact. And she had been here a good while, actually, enough to gain all of our trust. Then turns out that she then tried to kill me. Almost did. Rex was here, having a dalliance in his mech, and managed to hear my.
I'm sorry, I need to slow this conversation down. Number one, I'm glad you didn't die. Important things first. Number two, Rex was having a dalliance in his mech?
Yes, with who was it? Oh, that it's one of the other pilots, a rival of his.
A rival, of course.
Mm-hmm. And yes, and then he appeared out, decided to go all I don't really know what his play was. He came out with a sword and fought her off, but then decided to stand there when she launched with a jetpack. Well, not the brightest of moves, but
he's still alive?
Yeah, barely. He was barely alive, and
so,
thanks.
I mean, so Rex being Rex, then.
Yes, exactly. Then he went off to his girlfriend to get all patched up. Then, and then I found out who sent the order in. Apparently some nobody who got mad at me for his failed business venture. I don't know. But there have been other some weird things that have been happening that after the first attempt on my life, I've just figured, you know what? These would probably not connected to that. But it might explain where that guy got such an expensive assassin. Because, like I said, he was not a very good businessman. I mean, I don't understand how he could afford such an expensive assassin. It's been...
So Lorien was trying to kill you. What we're saying? We're thinking?
That's what I'm starting to think that maybe not him directly, but maybe there was something. There's something behind it all. You know Lorien, always a shifty type.
Is that the truth?
And I thought originally that you sent these photos of your wedding and a very sassy letter to me attached. But then I thought it might have been Lorien after I discovered what happened. But then I don't think Lorien has enough going on to have been able to get away with that. Not his smartest revelation to make right before he could take over the company, to say the least.
So odds are then Lorien wants something from the company.
Yes, is my assumption. Otherwise, why would he spend the past, it looks like 5 or 6 years buying up shares of the company? I mean, the man's rich, but not enough to be throwing around 20% of the company's amount of money. Rich.
I don't know. He's spending a lot of time with politicians, this new arcology project he's got going. Become very popular in Earth sphere politics.
Of course he has. I definitely think he has something or other planned for all of this. And what I haven't been able to suss out just yet, but I don't know. You can't keep the Mitzli sisters in the dark for long.
Alright, so let's go through these papers and see what else this charming husband of mine, recently deceased husband of mine, soon to be deceased, has been up to.
Let's do it.
So we're going to fade as the Mitzli sisters bond over plotting the destruction of Lorien Messer, through currently legal and possibly illegal means.
That's one way of putting it.
We're gonna wind the clock forward a couple months. Aurelia has left the ship. There was some time she wanted to spend with Argento recently. There was also rumors of them having to have some events that they needed to coordinate, and now Argento has his own yacht. Kind of easy. Calix is not quite joined the crew, but never really left yet.
Mm-hmm.
The motions for annulment are still in working their way through the courts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're expecting another month perhaps, and then... Excuse me. Sorry, everybody. And then another month perhaps, and then everything will be finalized, at least as far as the courts are concerned. But she's kind of started organizing data like Aurelia has previously, but in a much more professionally organized manner. Not that Aurelia was unprofessional, but
But like, Alex studied for this.
yes, Alex studied for this. So I guess the question, a couple things that would have happened in these past couple months I need to know. Number one, how long did Calix make Socket sweat about the fact of drugging her to sleep?
Well, that day, Calix probably spent the entire time in Alex's room.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did Calix make it look like maybe she left the room unhappy, her room, before she went to Alex's? To make someone sweat a little bit, maybe. And then maybe did you spend the night in Alex's room? Maybe. But then the next day, she conveniently bump into Socket.
Mm-hmm.
Be a little bit silent to start with. Maybe. Enough to just make Socket sweat just a little bit while they were conversating. Sure. But about that long, about a day and a half.
You have been getting some... So, that's a good thing. I guess then there was, you know, a couple of reports coming through that you would have picked up, some gossip. The merger between, the Colt Firearms Company and Soligen doesn't go through.
Okay.
Well, you know, that canceled wedding. The bride never showed up, the groom never showed up. It's led to some interesting tensions right now in corp space.
Mm-hmm.
Because FA firearms, sorry. The firearms company is the only one that is, you know, it's managed to hold out for over 100 years without merging with Soligen in corp space. So this merger that was called off because this wedding never occurred, there's a lot of tension and instability right now as I guess people start trying to blame someone.
Yeah, naturally.
You have heard of a few more bombings at major events where people of serious note, either serious wealth or serious political power, were attending. So far, there have been no fatalities. It's all been property damage and injuries, but no fatalities.
Okay. Interesting.
And it's with this background information that Gibson will come up to you one day.
Mm-hmm.
And look, just kind of walk up to you and go, I need you to do a job.
Yes, sir. What do you need me to do?
And he kind of looks at you like, I need you to eliminate a threat in the nearby area, but I'm pretty sure you're okay with that.
Sure.
Rumor has it, you know those mechs that you blew out of the sky?
Yeah.
Those new ones that didn't match anything?
Yes, I recall.
Well, there's been some... We salvaged them, of course. Socket's been playing. Well, you know that. You've spent a lot more time with her than I do, apparently.
I mean, We get along.
That what they're calling it these days.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir. But, yeah, about these mechs.
When we were stripping them for parts and seeing what we could find from the very exploded messes that you very efficiently left behind in space, we began analysis of all of these and discovered some unique energy signatures. There's one that seems to be not far from, well, our asteroid base, and we want you to go deal with the problem.
Okay. Why do you look so happy, sir, if you don't mind me asking?
Because you're going to blow some things up, and I just enjoy watching you work sometimes.
Okay, fair enough. Send the coordinates to my, to the mech?
Yes. Take your time, check it, make sure no one else has been sabotaging any of my shit. Honestly, rustling. And he just begins stomping away.
Okay. Alright, sir. We'll do my best. And, I will make my way to my room and start getting dressed. Put it on.
Suits are important.
Yeah, put it on that all that armor. All of that armor. In fact, probably a little bit more armor than before. Since everything.
Armor is important in this game.
So important. When I can put it on. In fact, you'll probably see Calix with more armor on just leisurely. Than, or like things that are armored more leisurely than a normal person, even on their Starblade, probably does. I get dressed, I head over to Alex's room and look for her there. If she's not, I'll just send a ping to her comm saying that I'm going out on the mission for a little bit.
She's not in her room. When you send the ping on the comm, you'll get back a, don't die.
I will.
And I might have something for you when you get back.
Oh. All right. I'll make sure to get back by dinner then.
Tell your girlfriend so I don't have to.
I'm heading there anyways.
And, you know, that would be like, she doesn't respond to that.
I'll send her off. I'm assuming at this point we have an emoji for just flipping someone off.
Yes,
and that's what I do.
There will be emojis.
I sent her the flipping the bird one, and then I head down to Socket's Playhouse, as I like to call it. And I will send her I'll just rap on the door. If I hear her working in there, otherwise I'll go towards wherever I hear the racket.
She is not in her office or near, she's on the flight deck, and she seems to be pulling apart some of the engine systems for Watcher, and doing a fuel line cleaning system setup.
Oh, nice. I'll pop in and I'll say, "Hey, Socket."
Yeah, what's up? And she kind of takes her headphones off for a second and looks at you. And you can hear, kind of coming from there, from these headphones, "The Spirit of the Radio" by Rush.
I love that for her. I give her a little bit of a dopey smile, but then I say, Gibson sending me out on a mission? Apparently I get to blow some stuff up.
Okay, don't die, come back safe, and bring me toys to play with.
Absolutely. Thank you for cleaning Leo up, or whatever the fuck I named my mech up before.
Not Leo. Leo is your call sign. Your mech's call sign was Cobalt.
Cobalt, there we go. Thanks for cleaning up Cobalt's engine a few weeks ago. Can't wait to finally try her out.
Yeah, don't push the throttle too fast yet, though, because you know the fuel lines of everything's fine. Everything's fine. Of course, it's fine. No, but it's like you haven't turned it on or turned it over yet, so there's a buildup. You need to make sure that don't rev the engine before you let things go.
Absolutely. We'll warm her up before I speed off.
Uh-huh. And she kind of puts her headphones back in as she kind of waves at you goodbye.
And I'll do a walk around Cobalt real quick, just making sure all my tubes are plugged in and nothing is slashed. Specifically that one fuel line that I'll never not check now of to see if it's been cut or not. Along with other things. And if everything checks out, I'll hop into Cobalt.
Yep. Everything checks out. There's not even a roll necessary for it. It's just easy to do.
I'll warm her up. I'll wait a little bit in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
Before I leave. I'll give it an extra minute just for Socket because I can feel her stare.
Yeah, you can because she's got total control of the security cams and the flight deck.
I'll give it the extra minute before I start heading out.
But with Leo heading out towards the coordinates that were given, we're going to take the break for now, get some water, get some refreshments, get some caffeine, and we'll be back in about 5-10 minutes because I want to see what Calix is like it'll be great. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are back with Calix as she, call sign Leo, proceeds to take her mech on a little bit of a solo mission out beyond near where the well, excuse me. The Starblade Battalion is made up of a few other ships, but nothing as big as the, well, Starblade itself, and it's one other major vessel, which is really just somebody stuck a bunch of thrusters on an asteroid. And then hollowed out the inside, and it makes for good, you know, it was a mining installation. Makes for, you know, some good armor, protection, places for you to get extra mineral supplies, you know, things that you need.
Yeah.
But, it's out a ways, not far, about 3 hours flight for you from, excuse me, the Starblade. So close by, enough that, you know, a mech by itself can just get in, get information, and get back to its docking berth, because you do not have FTL on your mech, do you?
I don't think so.
No, I'm pretty sure you don't.
That's a document I should bring up.
Yes, by the way. The rules for mechs can all be found in our dear friends at Talsorian. But yes, no, you do not have FTL on your mech.
No. No, I believe I work the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, so close by. It's kind of a debris field. Some space junk. There's a couple pieces of asteroid, nothing very large, maybe a couple small. By that I mean like maybe a kilometer, maybe 2 in diameter.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing earth-shattering.
Yeah.
Well, no. One of these would not shatter Earth. You'd need something bigger. Spread out around you, the darkness and silence of space.
Just enough time to reflect about in the past, I don't know, half a year at this point. Think about. Huh?
What are you reflecting on?
Everything that's changed. I mean, Calix's life has always been in flux, especially since leaving school. Really just jumping from career to career. Even if she joined the battalion pretty early on, it's still been like department change from department change to department change.
Mm-hmm.
Meeting a lot of, you know, Calix really did kind of try to escape the life of high society and just do other things, be away from all that pressure that she's never felt very comfortable around, because she just has a hard time relating to people. But somehow she found herself talking to the big guy of the resistance,
The captain of the Starblade.
The captain of the Starblade, and
who is in the NPC doc.
Yeah. And just, you know, moving up from there, getting to meet a lot of people, a lot of important people. Almost felt like going to one of the galas with her parents when she was younger. And then becoming a mech pilot, something she'd wanted to do for a while, being able to convert her old mining rig into cobalt, and getting, getting to hang out with Rex again, and then Ari coming in. It felt a little bit like, not really old times, but definitely what maybe school would have been if Calix were just a little bit more sociable. And then thinking about how Alex was back. Oh, Alex is back. Boy, oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that she thought hated her for the past decade and hated her enough not speak to her. And then kind of like throwing that in the back of her brain and heart for a long time. Then getting a message out of blue, thinking it was Alex, bringing all that rage back, then realizing what actually happened to Alex and having to reconcile her feelings of fuck you, I don't need you anyways, to wait, you might be the older sibling, don't tell her I said that, but like now I'm in a position where I can protect you in the way that she always did socially with me when we were in school. A little bit of a role reversal, I guess. And then thinking about all the ways I'd love to kill Lorien. Oh, what a wonderful thought line that goes through. A lot of the things that like I've heard of, war tales I've heard of the others. Thinking, oh, logging that away for future use. And just thinking, what am I gonna do now that Alex is back? Because obviously, before all of that, I think about also how Alex has been relatively loveless for her entire life, really. Out of just general disinterest of people. She really didn't. I mean, people were attractive, but nothing she was super into. But then after being on the battalion for so long and hanging out with Socket for long enough, the feelings developed, and being in a relationship that's still pretty new and shiny for her. Thinking about like, wow, that's something I definitely wouldn't have thought of.
Hey, while you're in this contemplative state, can you do me a favor?
Oh, what am I rolling? Yeah.
The official role is mech piloting.
Okay.
You're going to take a -2 to this.
No, I don't like taking a minus to things. I roll so poorly anyways.
I mean, I could give the plus to them, but I mean, technically, no, it's not a minus to you. It's technically a plus to them, so it would be a 19 that you have to beat.
Oh, I hate that for me. You know what? Instead of those 2, I give myself a +2. Gonna be taken. I don't need to put a plus here, huh? Oh boy. Well, that could have been better. I roll a 17.
You roll a 17, so miss by 2.
You don't have, when you put it that way.
And you are going to take 12 points of damage as the mech takes 12 points of damage. Does that get through your armor?
12 points.
To the torso.
Here we go. To the torso. No.
So
No, it's
you have an
Calix.
explosion that goes off in your face. As a incendiary round basically comes out of nowhere.
I brace for the aftermath of the explosion, the shockwave, I guess. Then I'm like, what the? I was sitting here contemplating, you assholes. And
Do you say that out loud? And I need to know if you say that over a comm. For my benefit.
Yes and yes, absolutely.
There's no response. Your voice over the comm breaks the stillness, quiet of space.
I'm like, you fucking assholes. And then I push all the buttons to see if I can locate them along with my own peepers.
And also awareness noted.
Yeah, and then I also look for the closest like asteroids or like little guys near us. Awareness notice. Is there any tech I can use for this?
You get a +2. Don't you have sensors?
Yeah.
If you have sensors, you get a +2.
Okay.
Because it's your So a 19. With a 19, you can just barely make out the shape, kind of standing to it's space of a mech. Very slim profile, not anywhere near, it's a humanoid-looking mech, full faceplate, no visible features, dark colors, kind of similar to the ones that shot at you a couple months ago.
Y'all are a bunch of frickin' opportunists, I swear. It's gonna say 1v1 me, bro. I immediately so between me and them, is there any obstacle between me and them? Or any cover?
They're in the cover. They're kind of in the cover of the what is the word I'm looking for? Of these smaller asteroids, so they're not really they're not in cover, but like they're close to a small asteroid so that it could be.
I will then move in a way where I guess the like space equivalent of like serpentining towards them, where I'm just wiggling as I go, trying to use that cover as cover for me also. Whenever they try to get an eye on me. And I will just beeline towards them, keeping an eye out, not only for them, but in case if there's any other of these stealth bitches around.
So you're going to move, you observed, and you only see one. And you know that there was only one signal that you were sent after. But I think we need to change the music.
Yeah.
And we're kind of using Theater of the Mind, kind of using not really a map, but we need the hexes because they're important for line of sight. That's it. So we're just there. That's what you see. And just put yourself anywhere over here.
Oh, I just need to drag myself.
Yep. Drag the name, not the...
there
yeah,
we go.
That works. But that's not the right song.
It's an Inspector Gadget song. I understand the vibe. Okay.
That's better. How's the music for y'all at home?
I'm vibing it. like a cockatoo. As I get closer to it. As soon as I have a clean shot, I will fire.
Well, I would say, you could take a shot depending on what you're.
I mean, someone's got to take the first shot, and if it's not going to be Han, it's going to be me.
They took the first shot.
Oh, I don't count that one. That was cheating. This will be the real first shot. Like, it'll be Han versus whoever supposedly the other person was a shot. Not to call myself out or anything. I will take a shot of my medium something, whatever you called, medium beam gun.
Yeah, what is the distance on your medium?
That's a
beam
great
cannon.
question. Beam cannon. 49.
Okay, so you need to
weird
get
number.
3 hexes closer.
Okay. Well, I retract my last statement, and instead I'll move forward a few spaces.
I mean,
Well, I
like,
could
you
get a lot
can.
closer.
Here's the thing with this combat system.
Mhm.
You can't split the movement, but you can move in any order.
Yeah.
So you could move, even if you tell me that you're going to shoot somebody and you're like, and then I'm going to move, or unless you're moving away and you're not close enough, if you say, if I need to tell you that you need to get closer, then you can move. It doesn't matter. That's not
Okay.
a problem.
So I can move, then shoot, and just not move again.
Yes.
Essentially, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm totally fine with that. I don't remember how many spaces I can move, so I'm just gonna go safe and say 3.
No, you can do 6.
Oh.
Rex is the ungodly, or Lightning is the ungodly one. Rex and Lightning are.
I'm fairly normal. Look, she used to be a mining rig. She's doing her best. All right, then I'll move 3 spaces still, just enough to get into a good range before I decide my next move. And then I will fire once I get a good sight on them.
You are within sight. You can fire. So go ahead and roll that attack with your weapon. I'm going to roll. Hold, please. There. Highlighting to see if they can dodge.
Oh, I have advanced sensor advanced sensors.
Oh, well, then that would be it.
That's fine. I saw them anyways. Okay. No, wait. I will remember what button to push for here. Okay, that one. You are. Oh, that's not. Keep looking down at my notes as if that's where I have everything written down.
I mean,
Other skills. Nope, not there. Missiles. There we go. Missiles? Yeah. Missiles. Gunnery. It's same roll. Anyways. But
your beam cannon is technically gunnery, but
it's same roll. Unfortunately, in 11.
Well, you didn't roll a 1, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And they're going to wait, that can't be right. What stat do you have at 1? Or do you just have a 1 in gunnery?
Yeah, level 1 gunnery.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I was like, oof. Do you have any luck?
I do have luck.
I would let you spend that 1 point of luck.
All right, I'll spend
After
that
the fact.
one.
Like, I will let people spend like 1 point of luck after the fact too.
Heck yeah, I'll do it. I'll mark that off the list.
What is the damage on your cannon? What does it do?
Range 7, max range 49. Kills 3.
Ooh. Well, that will do some damage. That will definitely do some damage. You see like a couple flashes on the against the mech that you can definitely tell are like shields kind of weakening. you pretty sure that they didn't take any damage, but you may have damaged their shields.
Yeah, which is good enough. Oh, there it is, mecha combat. Oh my gosh, I pressed so many buttons that were not the big green one on my screen. Awesome. And so that'll be the end of that turn.
Yeah, the big green one that says mecha combat makes it a little easier. Remembering, of course, that dodge is the piloting.
Okay.
And they are going to bring their cannon back up and try and hit you again with this large weapon that they have. But you're
Don't do your
closer
worst
now. So they don't have that penalty. They don't get that bonus. So that.
I mean, barely.
You need to roll that piloting, see if you can dodge out of the way.
Not even close. 20.
Yeah. So this unidentified mech just kind of brings its arm up, and the cannon underneath is literally within the arm and just fires, and it goes wide to the right. You see this energy go. They will try and move out of the way. Not effectively, but they move a little bit.
All right. As my next trick, I'm gonna charge right at them as they're recharging their beam.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to narratively pounce at them
With your
with my
lion
claw.
mech.
Yeah.
You're
And
just
I
Zoid.
went
You're
for that.
your legally distinct Zoid.
Exactly. My it's my Lloyd.
Mm-hmm.
It's spelled Liod. And I go in for the with my swings. So the
Swing
first
away.
one, 21.
Oof, you're gonna hit one.
All right, and then the next one, 18.
You hit two.
And oh, what are they? They're pretty good damage. Why don't I have anything written down where I need it? There it is. Nope, that's skill rating. Man, you really think that this would be the first thing I have written down?
You don't have it in the combat button?
The combat button?
Under the combat tab? No, you don't.
No, I don't have anything there.
It would be under servos and weapons. Did you put it under servos and weapons?
Ah, there it is. Kills 2.
Oof.
For both.
It's 4 total.
Yeah.
You see the shields waver and then break.
And I'll as my extra action, I'll press my button, and you'll just hear right in their face. And then make sure it's open on my comms too, on my side, so it also goes through my comms.
Just roll intimidation because I want to know.
Sure.
Just want to know.
Absolutely valid. 19.
You are very, very intimidating. This mech is this lion-shaped mech with blue and white racing stripes has just kind of appeared, and you took a explosion to the face, no reaction. But you are very this mech is very intimidating. This unidentified mech that you are engaged with will reach out and try and grapple you.
Okay.
And so you can dodge, which is piloting, and they're making a melee attack basically, but for a grapple. And so you can either roll dodge to get out of the way, usually is what it has to be.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. I have a pretty good stat there.
Which is my mecha piloting. 22.
20.
You are now grappled. It will take an action to break the grapple, either, what is it? I play a lot of Artelsaurian games. I need to make sure I'm saying the right skill. It would either be Mecha Melee to break the grapple. Is this...
What a great name. Mecha Melee.
Uh-huh. Good, Hansmith's write good games.
Alright, as he grapples me, I'll say, such a big gun for such a little person, and I will, try to make my way out of this, grapple.
Post check.
Alright, is this against their
Yeah,
original
they
roll?
get their... No, they get to roll again.
Oh,
Post
okay.
check. You need to be a 19.
Okay. Trying to think if I want to add anything to this.
You can always add luck.
Let's see. Well, this will automatically just roll it without asking me. So, but I'll be adding a +2 to this.
Okay. So 21, you break the grapple as you break away. That is your action.
Mm-hmm.
Which means it's...
Are
you moving?
I'll move back. I'll move, like, I'll start, like, circling them. So I'll move, like, to here. Just to, like, mess with their mind.
Cool. They're going to try and swipe at you with just the arm that was this cannon. There's no blade on it. They're just swiping at you, which you're pretty sure might just mean that they're making like a... with the big heavy metal piece. And I crit for a 29.
God.
Mecha piloting is what you need to get out of the way.
Alright, you know, 23 was respectable if it wasn't a 29.
And you want to know what the problem with that is, though?
What?
What's the difference between 23 and 29?
6?
And 5 is the baby crit.
Oh no.
Would you like to roll the d10, or do I roll the d10?
You rolled a d10.
Okay, I roll d10. Oh, please. I has to. I forgot something.
I mean, it's a heavy arm. What are they gonna do?
And it's only a baby crit, not a big crit, so... Go, where's my table? So many tables in this game.
Yeah. I only have 3 things open to make sure I know what I'm doing.
It is the weapon. So they're going to hit your, because you've got that cannon. They're going to knock the cannon away. I also need you to roll for knockback, so I need you to roll stun.
Stun.
Hold on, it's, yeah, stun shock.
Stun shock. For those of you who've never played an Artelsaurian game, there are a lot of...
Yeah, it's a save, so it's, it's your body. You need to roll a d10 and roll under your body score.
Okay.
So, like, whatever it's...
1d10. Under my body.
I don't think a 10 is under your body.
No, it is not. Come
So
on, Ken.
You You lose 1 action from the force of the attack.
Okay.
So you get knocked back. Like, this big, heavy arm just comes in, like, overhead to kind of right at the junction between the head and the neck on this large cat-like mech, like, and hits right there heavily, and damages enough that it shakes you, and you will lose your one action. So you will still have technically a lesser action, and a move. Well, move is a lesser action. So. And they're gonna try and do it again, because you know, melee ROFs in this game. And since you're currently losing action, you don't get to roll for the escape. It means they're going to hit you. And it's a crit, bigger crit, because you know you're stunned. Or no, you only lose one action. You're not officially stunned. You can roll the escape. Sorry, I misspoke. You are not stunned. That would be a worse roll.
So just another piloting. 43?
Yeah, you're not. You're gonna still lose one action or this round, and you're gonna take 4 kills.
Okay.
To the torso.
That's fine. It's okay. Is that their end of their action?
That is their action.
So they'll hit me the first time and I'll like get stunned back. But then when they swing for the second one, they will hit me. But this time I'll, you know, stand my ground. And I'll laugh into the comms and be like, oh, so baby does have a bite? Oh, you chose the wrong person to mess with today. Good luck. And I'll keep circling around them again. I'll just move very slowly from one spot to another.
Okay.
And that will be the end of my turn.
It is the end of your turn, and they're going to turn around.
Every now and then.
Well, right now, which is their move action. Because line of sight is real important in this game.
Yeah.
You can't make attacks if you're not in line of sight. And they're just going to go and try and grapple you again. For an 18, which you can use piloting to escape out of. With a 20, you're good. They have not responded to any of your trash talk, by the way.
I'll dodge and I'll go and then I will go at them again twice with my claws. First one for 21.
For 21. You will hit. And both of those will hit. And the second one technically is a crit. Well, baby crit. So roll that d10 for that crit. Let's see what happened.
2.
2. You attack with a weapon.
I'll attack as the first swipe goes in. I go for the neck area and I just swipe down, kind of to just at least jostle them that way. That way, when I come in with the opposite claw, I go and I swipe at their beam / makeshift club.
Yep.
And I swipe it up and out of the way.
So their weapon is damaged. And you do how many kills?
I do 2 with each claw.
So 4. You will damage that arm significantly. You see like sparks briefly before like the vacuum kills any fire that would have been there. It is. Oh, they have to. They're fine. And then they're going to make another roll is they come closer to you. I have a question. They're coming up closer to you almost to initiate a grapple. But it looks...
Okay.
But you can... Please roll me awareness notice. And you get your +3 from your sensors.
20.
There's something off. You're pretty sure... I mean, it's a mech, so it's a little hard to, you know... You don't have facial features to give emotions. But the way this individual is moving... The mech itself doesn't seem... You haven't heard any verbal responses. The mech itself is on... hyper-focused and is very simplistic in its actions. And as it comes in, you can tell that it's going to self-destruct.
Oh, I hate that for me.
You can dodge and try and get out of the way.
Okay.
If you do not, you'll take a shit ton of damage.
Yep. Hold on, I need to see how much luck I have left. Okay. Then I shall do that and use up the rest of my luck, which unfortunately it's... Oh, never mind. I'm still gonna use a luck there for 38, but... Because I said I would.
So you kind of see with this, what we see is this moment where Calix is looking through her sensors and reading and seeing these jerky motions of this mech, this hyper-focused actions as it kind of comes almost lumbering in the vastness of space. It's not graceful. It's not acting like it dances, like you've seen Lightning or Rex dance in space. This is clunky, almost as if it's within a gravity field or on a hard surface. And is coming in to try and grapple you, and you could tell, it's just that flash of an instinct from years of piloting, years of just everything that you've experienced, that this mech is going to try and grapple you and then explode. Instead, you manage to pull yourself back in a way, to dodge out of the way and like turn your back and let your shields take it as the mech does explode. And there is now silence once more in space.
I guess I was promised explosions. But I didn't even get to have the fun this time. I will float around it, letting my sensors inspect the debris to see if there's anything of interest aside from the entire thing, but anything in particular.
Go ahead and roll awareness notice. Again, that +3 for your better sensors.
Yeah. Awareness +3. 20.
It's not what you see, it's what you don't see, and what your sensors don't pick up.
Which is a life form?
No organic remains anywhere. No DNA. All you have are pieces of mech that are exploded.
A remote-controlled mech. How boring. And I will do another cursory glance around me. see if I can spot anything or anyone among the asteroid belt.
Nothing. Quiet. And there's no ping on your sensors. There's nothing tingling that back of your neck feeling after particularly, having been attacked like this.
Are you just a leftover? And I check my coordinates to see.
You're about, 2, maybe 3 clicks from where your coordinates were on the z-axis. So, within a respectable area of possibly where this signal was coming from.
Mm-hmm. I will log this in my coordinates to come back to. But I will do a sweep around the area of the coordinates, I should say, to see if there's anything else pinging around.
You maneuver gracefully. Just roll piloting just to see. I mean, you're going to be graceful, it's just, would Rex be impressed with your gracefulness?
A 21.
Possibly begrudgingly. I mean, it's Rex.
True.
Hotshot is kind of his
MO.
But you're kind of weaving through this debris field and these small array of asteroids. Nothing else pings on your sensors. There's no electronic signatures, there's no heat sources, nothing on the radar.
After a certain point, where I just think that there's just not going to be anything else that pings up, but I'm still going to continue doing the search.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I pass an asteroid, I land on it and then I jump off, and I just try to jump from asteroid to asteroid.
Picture this in the middle of the blackness of space, far lit by a distant star and nebula. Among the asteroids, you have this shadowed mech of a cat, large cat, with, I believe, some sort of panther or jaguar is what we decided.
Mm-hmm.
With a tail. Remember there being a tail. Jumping from asteroid to asteroid, backlit by this sun. In the distance.
And just still on open comms. And just a little bit of a laugh that turns a little bit into a cackle.
Still on open comms?
Yeah.
You've jumped 3-4 times. Cackle a little bit through the darkness and silence. There's no answer. And then you just hear good show.
Well, I knew someone else had to be around here. And if you weren't going to show yourself, well, I guess I had to show off.
Very much looking forward to seeing how you...
I mean, we could find out right now if you want.
The board isn't set yet. A lone bishop isn't worth...
That's a little bit insulting. At least the price on my head is a little bit more flattering.
Yes, I don't think many will be trying to.
Shame. It was a good workout.
Well, I wouldn't want my fun interrupted.
How long am I gonna have to wait? I'm not a very patient woman.
Patience is a virtue.
No one I've said I don't have.
You might consider.
Well, the bishop's on the board. The pawns are, I'm assuming. There's a king and a queen. I'm assuming a couple of rooks already in place. I'm assuming the board is almost set. So I won't need much patience.
There's no response. Silence echoes back at you.
Oh, of course. Always dark and brooding. That's supposed to be my shtick.
There is, however, a ping on your message system. Not the comms, not the verbal comms, but like the messages.
I'll check the preview to see who it's from.
No sender.
I'll transfer it over to a disconnected data pad.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll check it.
It's an image file of a chessboard.
What's it lacking?
Queen, black side queen, white side, king side rook.
I knew I wouldn't have to be patient for long. Until then, I suppose. Unless you have any more toys for me to play with.
Another message kind of pops up in the same file on that data pad, almost as if it was waiting and attached.
I'll click on it.
Two horsemen.
Well, that's sufficiently ominous. And I will continue my journey around the coordinates. Finish up the patrol.
It doesn't take long. There's not a lot. The only signal that you can find is the remains of the mech that blew itself up trying to do something to you.
I look around the debris, and even though I clicked onto it, I'm still gonna look around to see if there's anything particularly intact that I could bring back for socket.
There are enough, like, because it was an internal self-destruct, there's enough, like, hull pieces, most of the engine's gone, big chunks of the electronics are gone, but you can find, like, plating and a couple, one of the limbs is mostly intact.
I'll grab the leg and I'll grab it with the mech's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just carry it around like that. I'll leave a little bit of the plating, and then any mess of wires that I see, I'll just swat around a little bit
Yep.
And then I'll swat it off into space. More into space. I'll just let it go hurtling until it gets stopped by something or other. And then I'll grab some plating in the claw, and then I'll just head off back.
Couple hours before you get back. Gibson is glad that you're not hurt. Well, no, let's be honest. He's glad the mech isn't damaged.
Mm-hmm.
He appreciates that you're not hurt.
I'll come in when Gibson says something, and I'll say, "Hey, Gibson, I brought you a leg."
Silence. Just silence. Real funny, Leo.
I thought you'd appreciate it.
You owe me a drink. And it just, the comms shut off. You then hear, as you land, Socket and a couple of the other scientists Socket will rhyme, "You bring me back presents of the best kind. You aware of that? Just absolutely the best kind of presents. Honestly, this is so good. This is so good. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." And she will do that quick hands on your shoulder, push herself up on tiptoes to brush a kiss against your mouth, and then run off to go play with the new toys that you brought her. That's it.
Yeah, that's enough. I'll stand there with a little dopey smile a little bit. And I'll be like, "Yeah, of course. I'm only the best for you, Socket." And as I watch her run off and circle around like carrions with the other scientists, I head off towards Gibson's office. I stop by real quick to grab a bottle from a secret stash someone might have. And I grab a couple of glasses and I head to Gibson's office.
He is in this room that looks like every Master Chief's I've ever seen. Metal shelving with random parts. There's an organization here, but you would have to spend hours or even days to see what it is. It just looks like a pile of junk. But Gibson knows what everything is, how many, where. He's seated at his desk with 4 data pads in front of him that he's kind of swiping back and forth between all of them. And as you come in, he'll look up, raise an eyebrow at you.
Got a time for a drink and a talk?
You're actually bribing me. That means something went wrong. Close the door, have a seat.
What? I can't share a drink with my commanding officer after a successful mission?
Leo, you came to see me before you hit the showers. Something went wrong.
I wouldn't say wrong. And I'll put down the glasses and I'll pour both an acceptable amount of alcohol into both.
At least you have a fine appreciation for good liquor.
If there's one thing boarding school teaches you, it's to enjoy the finer things in life. And then I'll take a healthy sip. And I'll lean back in the chair. And I'll look at Gibson, swirl the drink in one hand. Well, while I was out there, I thought the mech, which was, I think, either remote controlled or had some AI piloting that was just useless by itself. It was fun. It was a fun toy to play with, but after it self-destructed, I continued around to see if there was someone playing with the toy or if someone else was out there. Turns out there was. And I think it's the person behind all of this. Whatever this is. They spoke to me. Said they couldn't afford to have one of their toys broken before they got to play with it. And then after a healthy discussion about chess, they decided to send me a photo of a game that they're preparing. Called me a bishop and showed 2 missing pieces. One on the black side, one on the white side. A queen and another piece that I will pretend that I remember.
Black queen and white kingside rook.
Kingside rook, so 3 pieces.
No. I'm sorry. So because the back row has there's the king and queen, and then there's 2 bishops, 2 rooks, 2 bishops, 2 knights, 2 rooks.
Mm-hmm.
When you say king side or queen side, it's just what side of the board that one is. So there's.
Oh, okay. I see.
So it's king side rook.
Oh, the more you know.
Mm-hmm.
And a rook.
Aren't you just the most popular person around?
Well, apparently no longer. Apparently the bounty on my head has been postponed, at least for now.
There's a certain amount of concern one might have if they can cancel a 6-figure bounty.
I mean, if they're behind these mechs with technology far beyond their own, have a hand in the merger between a large arms company and another company of similar stature and size, I have to assume that money is the least of their problems. In fact, I believe money is the reason why this is all happening. Someone with too much, bored, and beginning to play their own game with real pieces.
Anything else useful in your charming conversation with an individual who may or may not be trying to kill you in the near future?
I mean, I'm probably trying to kill all of us at some point. A conversation about patience and lecture, maybe even. How I should get some. No, I told them, not really my thing. And
you just see this look on his face like he goes, I don't want to agree with the creepy evil dude, but you do need but I have told you needed patience in the past. And so it's just like this moment of his face going through a journey.
I mean, compared to Rex, am I really that impatient?
No, you're... Rex ran after a possible assailant in only his boxers and took a jetpack to the chest. You decided that you were pissed at somebody and strode butt-ass naked with a knife through my ship.
Oh, as if that were the first time that were to happen.
And he will just pick up the bottle and, like, top off his glass and set it down, pick it back up.
This person did say one more thing.
Oh.
2 writers. Doing something that we can just quote back, because my memory is that of a goldfish.
They didn't say anything, they just said 2 riders.
Oh my gosh, and I'm a genius. I remember everything.
You are.
They said 2 riders.
I mean, if it was Socket, I would know the next line. Are approaching. Look, I spend enough time around her that the music rubs off. Also, I may enjoy some.
No shame in that. She has good taste. Obviously.
Well, I mean, she has good taste in music.
Now, if I didn't know better, I'd say that were a jab at me.
Would I ever do that, Leo?
No, never. So long as your leg is still attached to your body, you would never.
Uh-huh. You'll just take a long, slow, savoring sip of this whiskey that you brought.
Oh, come on, I have to make up for lost time. I've been otherwise occupied these past few months.
How is your sister doing?
Better. Especially now that she has her mind focused on one thing.
I mean, I know a couple guys that we can definitely arrange to shove him out an airlock.
I absolutely told her we should. And she totally approves of the idea. Appears that there's just, you know, some high society problems that we need to deal with first. But I might take you up on that offer.
And he'll just kind of lean back, and this is like the first time he's kind of settled. He'll lean back and kind of settle in the chair, and he's sipping. And now you can kind of get the feel that this room is... the vibe is shifted, it's chill. He's letting you give... you know, he's not going to try and ask anymore. He's letting you speak. If you need to.
It's been nice having her around.
But...
nice. I'm concerned. I mean, not only are we in the middle of what I'm assuming is about to be a major battle.
The hope is to avoid the war that would possibly destroy human existence. And half the galaxy.
True. And I have full belief that we're totally capable of that, but with any plan, there are casualties. I'm concerned about that. And I'm concerned that Alex will try to find purpose the same way I did. After my soon-to-be ex-brother-in-law is dealt with.
Would that be a bad thing?
It'd be nice for her to find purpose, but she's very good at what she does. She's very good at commanding data. Very good at organizing, finding discrepancies. I don't know what she plans
Look,
to
the
do.
captain is in charge of all HR decisions. You want your sister to get an actual job, then talk to him.
That's the issue. I don't know if I want her to get a job here, or if she'd be safer mainland. Finding a nice, cushy job, maybe taking over the family business.
You know, this is all predicated on what you're thinking she should do and what you want her to do instead of, you sitting across from your sister and asking her what she wants.
Well, here's the thing. She'll ask me, what do you think? She doesn't like to act like it, neither of us do, but we both think a lot about the other's opinion. And when she asks me that, I don't know what I'll say.
Wait until it comes that time. The answer will come as it will. I can't give you that answer. I'm not you.
No.
But I can tell you. Here's my 2 cents. From a man of my respectable years and station. He kind of gives you that look like, don't comment. Your sister lost the last 10 years of her life to other people telling her what to do. I don't think she wants you to join that group.
I would never. Not that she'd listen to me anyway. She's never listened to me one day in her life. I'm just concerned. I'm sure you can understand that.
Oh yeah. I understand. Half my family's on either this ship or that rock. They made those choices.
Well, I guess one way or another, we would be a force to be reckoned with.
I mean, I've seen what one Mitzli could do. Double that could be interesting. And hey, then you could have been competing against the Rossi.
You're right, the Rossi siblings.
Look, are they going with what name are they? I am very confused by that whole thing.
I don't know either. I've really just been working on like a first name nickname basis with them. Maybe I throw siblings out there just to get a feel before, but I feel like it might be still a little touchy. I don't know.
Little touchy.
Okay, well, you know.
Look, Xavier, nice dude. Little weird. Violent, but a little weird. Rex is nice guy. A hotshot. He's also crazy as fuck. In a good way, most of the time. Vantage, well, she's a sweet kid. Honestly, I think she could do better than Rustlin, but nobody asked me.
Sometimes you don't gotta choose, Commander.
Mm-hmm. Alright. I have now officially drunk your whiskey. Get out of my office, I got work to do. And you are starting to smell.
Hey now. I always smell wonderful. But I'll get out of your hair. And I'll stop at the door and I'll say, thanks for the talk.
You know where my door is. It's not locked. And as you hear the whoosh of the doors closing behind you, because yes, god damn it, this is a Mekton series, we will have whooshing sci-fi doors. I will take that trope. We will pull back as The camera pulls out of the Starblade, watching from a distance as Calix proceeds towards her quarters the rest of her night. Pull back out of the Starblade itself through the vastness of space to figure seated. Nothing visible except the chessboard to their left. They shift and move. Place on the board. Black. And that's where we end today.
Dun dun dun.
Are we having fun?
Yeah. Absolutely. I got to beat up on a mech.
You did. And deal with some of your family issues?
Yeah. Have a little bit of socket time.
Did. And Socket, responded in the appropriate way of like, hey, my sister says you need sleep for medical reasons.
I will therefore shove some sleeping pills in your coffee. That's never gone wrong.
But here's the difference. Her sister is a doctor. Like, what is the dosage I should be using here?
Theoretically, if I were to.
If I were to. But, PB, where can we find you? What you doing? Where are we gonna be? All those good things.
I am PB at PB Plays Inside on everything. I'm mostly active on Twitter. You can find me on various channels occasionally. This one hopefully coming up soon, ish. And in October, in the spirit of mechs, I will be in a Lancer game, a horror Lancer game, over on Indoor Adventurers channel, which will be a ton of fun. And am I doing anything else? No. That's about all I am doing. But if you want to find me, head over to @PB Plays Inside on Twitter and say hi.
Always go and say hi. And as for me, I'm at Dirgedolan on Twitter or Praxorafesnia4 as you see me around here on Twitch. And we will be back on Sunday for Romance of the Blue Rose, where things are getting interesting. The possibility of an orgy is rising, there are hauntings occurring, and somebody has overcome their fang sickness. Oh wait, and they decided to bring a wyvern to the city of Alts.
Spicy.
Then back here again on Wednesday for Witcher Roads Home. There was death and murder last week. Of the best kind.
Oh.
But it may have been emotionally draining and damning and possibly a major point of tension for next week. And then be back here on Friday. Next Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, because we're up to our third solo episode for this mid-season transition of Starblade Battalion. Seeds, if you've noticed. New title for this season. And we're going to have Lynn. Lynn will be here, our very own Vantage Moraine, for her solo episode, and we will see what Vantage is getting up to in this 6-month time jump. But other than that, check my Twitter because I was posting where I'm going to be, and all the fun, wonderful, fabulous people that I get to hang out with, play with, and talk about stuff with. You can also check out the YouTube, which I put apparently that's a thing that happens. I appreciate everybody who's over there. I see you, I see the messages you leave. I try and answer every single comment that pops up. Thank you so much. But that's where we're going to end for today. We're going to let you all have a good day. But but I feel like we should try and send some actual positive feelings to people because we keep getting shit on by negative assholes. I mean, like, I feel like that's an appropriate response, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what we do. We need to go raid Susanna Grace, who she's playing some Sea of Thieves. Let's go raid her and send her some love because Susie is great. Even when she is, you know, being my GM in Game of Thrones. So we will send some love Susie's way. And see you next time, everybody. Bye!